Good afternoon, everybody. Corey here with Ride Suspension, and today we are talking about the Pro Valves for the new Xact forks on 25 and 26 WPs. As the intro said, we will be talking about the Pro Valves from KTech for the 25-26 closed cartridge WP Xact forks, and why I like to put them in bikes, especially with the 25 and 26 forks being closed cartridge. They do perform very well, but they lack. Just like every stock fork, they need some tuning. You can get them to be really good, but there's just some parts and levels that they lack in. We're gonna start with just your base valve assembly in general. So I have a post here, and as you can see, this is all different colors from this right here. The hard anodizing is actually wearing off from the spring, which gets inside your free piston and everything like that. And I've also seen these get worn off really quick. And this one's actually out of a bike that has 3 hours on it. With that, it's the same thing. You have a very tapered, flat tapered needle where your clicker adjustments don't do as much as they should. And then the other thing is what you see on a lot of stock forks is they have essentially a single port post, and that's about it. So that's all your flow is going, all your fluid is going through this single port and through here. That's it. And then talking about the mid-valve design is actually really good. We enjoy the mid-valve design. They have big ports. They just, from the top, the flow is, again, kind of lacking. You have your standard leaf spring shims. You have your cup and spring washer in here that also has a shim stack that goes to it. And then you have your rebound. As you can see, we got very big ports, plenty of fluid flow, all that. But starting with the compression assembly from KTech. So the compression assembly from KTech, obviously you get nice, shiny Kashima coated cap. It's not a big deal, but the big thing is you have a DLC coated mid-valve post. You can see the needle is a more progressive taper with a rounded nose, so fluid doesn't hit that. You got to think that fluid likes to take the path of least resistance, so the less sharp edges you have inside your forks, the easier your stuff flows, the more you have, you're not having resistance in there. That also gets paired with your ICS spring and everything like that. With your base valve gets a new 6-piston port. You kind of get away from the check valves and stuff like that. You still have a check valve, but it's actually a spring and washer check valve instead of a flex plate check valve like WP. Nice smooth edged ports. As you can see, nice progressive valving stack, which we adjust for your riding, and every time we put one in, we adjust for your style, riding, weight, vice versa. Not every build is exactly the same. We set it as a baseline, and then we set it up for you. Then you have the mid-valve, and it comes with a new nice float taper needle. You have, again, a 6-port piston or post. You have nice smooth piston ports, everything like that. And again, it comes with a spring and washer cup. You don't have the secondary cup, which some people like and some people don't. It's a little bit personal preference on that one, and so on and so forth. The big question we've been getting lately when it comes to these and the Explore Pro Valves and everything like that is, what is the big difference between gold valves and the Pro Valves? And gold valves, say you just do a fork kit gold valve, they normally range, especially on this type of kit, range about $300. You get dynamic valving sheet, which is a valving sheet set up for the type of riding you're doing and weight and everything like that, and you get a gold valve piston. which we have been doing studies, we have been looking at a lot of people's other data, and we've been finding out that gold valve pistons inherently, just the piston alone, inherently have your rebound be very fast, which in some instances is nice, but in some instances you actually have to tune it down. So it's almost like putting performance parts in and choking it down. And then also you don't get mid valve posts, you don't get high flow posts on both mid valve and base valve. You don't get a new top cap, so you don't get a new hard coated shaft or rod. You don't get Kashima coated, you don't get new needles, anything like that. So essentially all you're doing with gold valves is changing the piston and the valving, which if you're gonna do it yourself and everything like that is great. They're very simple. Racetech has very great instructions on step-by-step basis, but if you're on the fence on gold valves or pro valves have essentially more stuff, more bang for your buck. Pro valves run about $550, $560. So that extra $250 or so is essentially what you would be getting for new pistons, posts, and your base valve stuff. They have great customer service. KTech has great products. I haven't had a product go bad on me. And if anything, I have questions with the products, I am able to call them. They answer my phone call and everything like that. So if you guys really like your 25, 26 forks, your closed cartridge forks, and you really just want to take it to the next level where you have more adjustability and more comfort where your clickers do much, I would suggest the Pro Valves. Obviously they're not for everybody. Not everybody needs a full build, but it's something I've always suggested is if you're gonna do your suspension, do it once, do it how you need to be set up. You don't need to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on the pro stuff. You just don't need it. This stuff gets you really close to the Pro Valves or to the pro stuff without having to, sell your firstborn child. But if you guys have any questions, again, leave a comment, shoot me a text, hit us up on Instagram. We're more than happy to answer any questions. And remember, right beyond the limits, my name is Corey. Have a good one.